Do you ever wonder why students with a tutor still fall behind? I'm going to show you the hidden gap no one talks about until now. Today we're going to break down the real differences between executive function tutoring and traditional tutoring. Because if your child is struggling, it might not be what they're learning, but how they're managing it. Hi there! If you're new here, my name is Presh and I share tips and tricks to help students and families feel less overwhelmed and more in control. So, what is executive function tutoring or EF tutoring? Think of executive function as the CEO of the brain. What that means is that this is a set of skills that's in charge of planning, organizing, managing tasks, self-regulating, etc., that is getting thoughts into action. What this means in terms of coaching and tutoring students is that we're supporting them in 1, checking their learning management system or assignment portal. 2, we're coaching them to create a game plan for their week that identifies their low, medium, and high priority tasks. 3, we're working with them to use school resources like office hours to help them bridge content gaps. And then 4, we're providing content tutoring and scaffolding on assignments and concepts that are challenging to them. So with coaching students to check their assignment portal, what we're doing is that we're asking them to show us what their assignment portal looks like and for them to identify the assignments that they have due the next day, later on in the week, and even the following week. And in that process, we want them to identify what are their big assignments. Big assignments can be a test, a project, a quiz, or any assignment in a class that is just really challenging for them. And as they're identifying these big assignments, then we're working with them to figure out what they need to do to feel successful in that big assignment. For example, if they have an upcoming math exam, what are the resources that they will use to help them prepare for that exam? Is it a study guide? Is it going to their teacher's office hours? Is it working in a small group to better understand how to study for a concept or multiple concepts? Whatever the plan is, we're really getting it step by step with them so that when they're done working with us for our session, then they have something to work off of afterwards. In terms of weekly game planning, once we check out their assignment portal, then students typically have an idea of what their low, medium, and high priority tasks are. For the most part, it's based off of what will take them the longest to do or to study for. And from that, we want to go ahead and put timelines and deadlines so that that holds them accountable, and the pressure of following through also holds them accountable. What that looks like is if they have that upcoming math exam and they want to finish the study guide by Wednesday, then if we're meeting on a Monday, we might text them on a Tuesday to just check in on how it's going with their study guide and if they have any questions or things that they're struggling with. As for coaching them on how to use school resources, it's a mixture of things. It can be helping them find their teacher's office hours. It can be helping them connect with their counselor to get extra time to take their exams and so forth. And whatever those school resources are, we want to make sure that students follow through. So we might, again, text them to hold them accountable on their next steps. We might also coach them to write an email to their teachers if they need extended time to retake an exam, or 3, they need extra help. For the most part, a lot of students don't know how to write good emails. So by working with an executive function tutor, we can also coach them on what those emails look like. And lastly, we might point them to certain resources that can help them fill in content gaps. So with the upcoming math exam, if they're struggling on understanding how to make trig functions, we might go ahead and send them videos based on their learning style, or look at their assignment portals with them to see if their teachers have good resources to aid them in their content gaps. And the last thing that an executive function tutor can support a student on is holistic tutoring. This can look like if they have an assignment that they're bringing to the session, supporting them by scaffolding the assignment. What that means is we might do a we do, you do model where we both work on one of the problems, and then after that, the second problem, the student goes and does it on their own while they're thinking out loud so we can see where the gaps are in their understanding. And maybe it also involves inquiry-based learning where we're asking them questions as they do the assignment and the student shares what they know about the topic or how to answer the particular problem. What I always tell my team is that you don't need to be an expert in this topic that the student is struggling on, but instead you do need to be an expert in meeting them where they're at and helping them get to the next level. And getting to the next level could just be helping them think out loud, or providing resources, going over resources together during the session so that the student can then take that on after the session. So to recap, an executive function tutor has a lot of amazing responsibilities, like coaching students to check their assignment portal, identifying their low, medium, high priority tasks, coaching them to use and leverage their school resources, and then providing that holistic tutoring during a session. So what is traditional tutoring? I actually started off as a math tutor, and what that meant was that students would bring in an assignment or a study guide that they found challenging, and I'd work on those concepts and those problems with them. So it would just be that one class that I would work on with them during that session, and then afterwards I wouldn't see them again. What this is really good for is if a student is just struggling on one class rather than the big picture of managing their assignments, making a plan, starting their work, etc., then traditional tutoring is really great for them because it helps them get a resource or work with someone that can identify those challenges and help fill in the gap so that when they're in class, they're not feeling confused or not feeling overwhelmed because they don't know anything. You can see that with executive function tutoring, there's a lot more life skills coaching included, like helping students improve their organization, planning, task management, prioritization skills. Whereas with traditional tutoring, it's really focused on supporting student with that one class that they're struggling on, and it's supporting them to, if the gap is like this in terms of understanding, it's lessening and lessening and lessening the gap so that the student feels more confident in that one particular class. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like in action.
Let's meet Maya. She's smart, she's capable, but like so many teens, her week is chaos. For this week, she has a science and math exam on top of an English essay that she hasn't started yet. Today, she is meeting with her math tutor to prepare for her math exam.
Her tutor did a terrific job in unblocking her with that challenging math concept, but she wasn't able to receive that foundational support to manage everything else. As a result, she's in a constant state of playing catch up.
Now, imagine Maya again, but this time with executive function tutoring support. Her tutor is encouraging her to schedule office hours with her teacher and to figure out when she will study for her exams. At the end, she's getting started on studying for the class that she is struggling the most on for the week.
By working with an executive function tutor, Maya is able to improve her skills in being proactive when it comes to emergencies rather than reactive. She's not just getting content tutoring, but she's getting coaching on these life skills with organization, planning, task management, prioritization that will then serve her in and out of school. If you want your child to thrive, not just in one subject, but in and out of school and in life, executive function tutoring might just be the game changer you've been searching for. If this was interesting to you, in my next video, we walk you through a step-by-step process that we use in my education company to coach students to build better habits. With that, let me know in the comments below, what does your child or student struggle with in and out of school? Do you think they can benefit from working with an executive function tutor? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace.